cochlear, the abducens and the hypoglossal. All these cranial nerves will supply the structures which are derivative of the somatomeres. Suppose hypoglossal, it is supplying which muscle? Tongue. All the intrinsic as well as the extrinsic muscles of the tongue except the palatoglossus, it is supplied by the hypoglossal nerve, which is derived from the occipital somites. Okay, just like these, these cranial nerves are supplying only those muscles which is the derivative of the somatomeres, isn't it? So, like that, this general somites efferent, general somatic efferent, there is no special word, SSE. Suppose here there is special somatic, just opposite nomenclature you will see medial to lateral. Here it is the general somatic efferent, just counterpart here it is the general somatic efferent. Just lateral to that here it is the special visceral efferent or the branchiogenic efferent, then here it is the special visceral efferent. Around the sulcus limitans, I have said earlier, there is the visceral component. Visceral component is visceral word, it is meaning what? Which viscera? Special viscera, because for the cranial nerves we have categorized it, the muscles, the smooth muscles, okay, whether the glands, exocrine glands, which is supplied by the parasympathetic ganglia. You must be knowing the submandibular, the sublingual, the parotid, the lacrimal, isn't it? So all the glands and the smooth muscles of the viscera, isn't it? Just suppose larynx, pharynx, trachea, respiratory viscera, the abdominal viscera, thoracic viscera, all are categorized. All the viscera which is getting their efferent fibers, it will be categorized in general viscera, not the special viscera. You get that point? Somatic derivatives, the skeletal muscles is categorized in two different patterns. Okay? Because here it is the general somatic, somatomeres derivative, those skeletal muscles derived. But here the special visceral efferent. Special visceral efferent means the muscle, the skeletal muscle, not the smooth muscle, the skeletal muscles which are derived from the pharyngeal arches. What are those muscles? Suppose the first arch, the nerve is mandibular nerve. So you will start this story, this column, the story of this column, special visceral efferent, will start from the fifth cranial nerve onwards, because the first pharyngeal arch nerve which is supplying these muscles derivative, that is the mandibular, which is the branch of the trigeminal. Okay, so I am not going in detail of the brachial arches. I will simply say that all the muscles which are the derivatives of the pharyngeal arches or the brachial arches, and what are the nucleus of those cranial nerves, will be categorized in these functional columns, just lateral to this somatic efferent. You get that point? So, and what are the examples here? Tell me. Then the second list is general visceral efferent, special visceral efferent or the branchiogenic efferent. Special visceral means those skeletal muscles which is the derivative of the pharyngeal arches, that like the muscles of mastication, which is supplied by the, in this list, special visceral efferent. What are the cranial nerves? And among those cranial nerves, what are the motor nucleus of those cranial nerves? Because this is the efferent column, the basal lamina, you said this is concerned with the motor functions. So what are the cranial nerves which motor nucleus will govern those muscles? So first is the trigeminal, that means simply say the fifth motor. Then second it is the seventh, the motor nucleus of that. Then first arch, this is the second arch derivative, third arch, it is the ninth. Then fourth, it is divided into the vagus, recurrent laryngeal nerve and the extended laryngeal nerve. So 10th plus 11th, because the cranial part of the spinal accessory nerve The branches are distributed with this 10th cranial nerve, so it is combinedly said that the vagoaccessory complex. ठीक है? So this motor nucleus of these cranial nerves. Why these cranial nerves I have chosen here? The 5th one, the 7th, the 9th, the 10th and the 11th, because these cranial nerves nucleus are supplying the skeletal muscles of the pharyngeal arches derivatives. That's why we have got a in prefix special word, or you can say bronchogenic efferent. Someone asked bronchogenic efferent. That efferent, not afferent. Then efferent means special visceral efferent. You get that point? So the muscle of mastications, the facial muscles, this 9th cranial nerve, it supplies only one muscle. For that it is a motor. Which muscle is that? Stylopharyngeus. Okay, and this vagoaccessory, what are the muscles supplied by? Larynx, pharynx, okay, palate, soft palate. All these muscles will be supplied by the 10th and the cranial part of the accessory nerve. So that means, I mean to say that all the muscles, list of the muscles which are the derivatives of different pharyngeal arches and supplied by these different cranial nerves will be placed here. Spatial visceral efferent. Functional column for those cranial nerves is spatial visceral efferent. Isn't it? So you don't, once you are getting spatial visceral efferent, that means in mind you must thought that these are the derivatives of the pharyngeal arches and what will be the motor component of these cranial nerves. Then comes the another efferent fibers in the basal lamina, which is towards the sulcus limitans, that is the general visceral efferent. Isn't it? General visceral efferent. What does it mean, general visceral efferent? This general visceral includes which structures of the body for which it is giving the efferent fibers to supply. Okay, the general visceral efferent. That means general visceral efferent fibers. That means what? That means for the viscera. Which viscera? The respiratory viscera, the abdominal viscera, isn't it? Larynx and trachea, all will be the viscera, the efferent fibers. Abdominal viscera plus glands, smooth muscles of these abdominal viscera plus the glands. Have you heard the name of the parasympathetic ganglia? Parasympathetic ganglia, a very important topic, parasympathetic ganglia. So whatever cranial nerves which you know that is listed in the parasympathetic ganglia and which are providing the true roots for that ganglia will be listed in this general visceral efferent. Why? Because these efferent fibers in these, what will be the nucleus which is supplying these structures. So smooth muscle for the general visceral efferent, it is supplying the viscera, the smooth muscles of the viscera plus additional glands. Okay, glands by the parasympathetic ganglia or the peripheral autonomic ganglia. Okay, so these efferent fibers, the nucleus from where the preganglionic fibers are arising, from here it is the nucleus, the preganglionic fibers are arising, here it is the ganglia, and the postganglionic fibers are arising and it is supplying the structures, whether it is the abdominal viscera or any viscera or it is the glands. Okay, so cranial nerve, suppose it is the Edinger-Westphal nucleus. Edinger-Westphal nucleus of the 3rd cranial nerve. Have you heard the name of Edinger-Westphal nucleus? It is this nucleus, it is related with which ganglia? Ciliary ganglia. Isn't it? Ciliary ganglia. From the ciliary ganglia, the postganglionic fibers arises and supplies the sphincter pupillae and the ciliaris muscle. Isn't it? So I mean to say that the nucleus which are governing the glands, there is a list of these parasympathetic ganglia starting from the third cranial nerve. That is the, suppose in this list, what are those? General visceral efferent. What are the cranial nerves then? That is the third. Edinger Westphal nucleus. It is supplying the third cranial nerve. Then ciliary ganglia, and that it is the sphincter pupilli and the ciliaris muscles. Okay, which gives the accommodation also. Then second is lacrimal. Okay, lacrimal gland. Lacrimal nucleus. So, which here it is the third nerve. For the getting the lacrimal, which cranial nerves will take the charge? Again, 7th cranial nerve has got the major. 5th, 6th, 7th. Then lacrimal when the 7th cranial nerves. Then pterygopalatine ganglia, and it will supply the lacrimal gland. Lacrimal nucleus by the 7th cranial nerves relaying the pterygopalatine ganglia and the postganglionic fibers from the pterygopalatine ganglia, it supplies the lacrimal gland. That means the third cranial nerve, when you will talk about the 7th cranial nerve, and look here, this submandibular gland, the sublingual gland, how it is getting the supply? Superior salivatory. Superior salivatory nucleus. Have you heard the name of superior salivatory and inferior salivatory nucleus? There is a rule. Higher the gland, lower is the nucleus. Lower the gland, higher is the nucleus. Superior salivatory nucleus, it is situated above. It will supply which gland? Submandibular and the sublingual gland. Okay? So, superior salivatory nucleus, again it takes the help of the 7th cranial nerves, and again it will relay which ganglia it is situated? Here it is the submandibular ganglia. Okay? The submandibular ganglia. From that the postganglionic fibers arises and supplies the submandibular and the sublingual gland. Submandibular gland plus sublingual gland also. You get that point? That means general visceral efferent. I mean to say that general visceral efferent are those cranial nerves. First it is the viscera, and for those viscera again there will be a nucleus. For the viscera, the nucleus is the dorsal nucleus of vagus, isn't it? The motor dorsal nucleus of vagus. It supplies what? The viscera, the smooth muscles of the viscera. Dorsal nucleus of vagus, preganglion arises from these nucleus, and for these abdominal viscera, the ganglia is situated in the wall of the viscera, and the postganglionic fibers arises from those ganglia and supplies the viscera. Isn't it?